Would you like to earn $10,000 per day? It might sound impossible, but a popular YouTuber and a DeFi investor, James Pelton, is showing you how it can be done. People have become very cautious about passive income crypto projects after the famous Luna crash. But even in the midst of rug pulls and failed unsustainable high-yield projects, it is possible to find wildly profitable DeFi projects. But it is very difficult for a beginner or even more experienced investor to find good projects. That's why you should find the most successful investors and learn how they find strong DeFi projects. After watching this video, you know how your money can work for you while you are enjoying the lifestyle you want. So the crypto bear market has once again caught people by surprise. Most investors lost a lot of money as the markets crashed. Luna was for many the most painful experience as people thought it to be the best DeFi project out there. It's a great example of how hard it can be, especially for beginner and intermediate investors, to find the quality crypto projects that can have long-term success. There are a few ways to become wealthy as a crypto investor. You can try to get rich quick by making a bet on a few very high risk, high reward plays. Or you could try to find a good long-term bet early on, which ends up taking a big share from the crypto markets. If you choose to try to get rich quick, you need to get very lucky by betting on the right horse at the right time. But most of the time you will end up holding the shortest straw. Another strategy is long-term investing, where you develop the combination of the ability to evaluate fundamentals and the ability to predict where the future is going. This requires hard work, as you need to understand the industry you are betting on, but also luck in that your pick is the long-term winner. But there is also a third way of getting wealthy in crypto, and that is by finding multiple passive income streams. Having multiple passive income sources is a more rewarding way to build wealth, as you have better chances of seeing results faster and you get to enjoy cash flow. And who doesn't like making money while sleeping and sipping a cocktail on a tropical island? Eventually, you can develop processes you can replicate even outside of crypto, like in traditional investing, and at the same time you will learn to manage your money. You are less likely to gamble it away the next moment, like most people who got rich quickly ended up doing. To get to your goals faster, it's a good idea to find the best investors early on in your journey so that you can learn from their mistakes and model their processes of success. James Pelton is one of the most popular and successful DeFi YouTubers who has found many crypto projects that give good passive income. He also has had failures, but the best part is that he is open about them. So he is not only telling you about his wins, but you will also hear about his failures. And this kind of transparency alone would be a reason to follow his channel, as it is very rare in the crypto space. Let's hear it straight from James from a recent interview, how he shows all the wins and losses.
If I just put out like my straight numbers, like, hey, I lost on this, this, and this, I made money in this, this, and this.
Currently, James's YouTube channel content is 90% project interviews and AMAs, and then the rest is reports on how his investments are doing. So by watching those interviews, you can improve your own skills on how to evaluate different projects, to do your research, as they say. The next clip brings up another very important point about transparency.
One thing I love about your content is you're not bought.
If you are just starting your journey towards the $10,000 per day, James Pelton thinks the number one thing for you is to get super clear on your goals, meaning what is the risk-reward ratio you are looking for. But in any case, you should not blindly follow anyone's investment, as $1,000 can be a good amount to bet on a high-risk project if you have $100,000 to invest, but not for a beginner who has $2,000 to invest. As a lesson about the importance of diversification, James has about 30% of his investments in crypto, and half of that are in high-yield DeFi projects, and the other half is in long-term crypto holdings like Bitcoin. But also inside DeFi, he has investments in over 20 different projects. Needless to say, this is not a feasible strategy if you are just starting up with a small capital. So what are James Pelton's favorite crypto passive income projects at the moment? In the interview, he mentioned two projects, Freeway and Yield Nodes. Freeway's purpose is to offer better access to financial services for all. They are doing forex and quant trading, and they offer a 43% APR for the investors, and they have done trading successfully for the last 15 years. One big reason why many crypto investors like the project is that they are generating revenue outside of crypto, which is good for diversification. And in the bear market, it is great not to be exposed to crypto market fluctuations. Actually, Freeway has gotten better results in the current market in their trading due to the market volatility. Another good sign is that they are building new services and products. In the interview with James Pelton, the founder of Freeway, Graham Dockart, revealed that they have insurances coming, lower risk products, as well as a payment card and a stablecoin. The only criticism James Pelton has about the project is that it is not decentralized, so they could rug pull, but the likelihood of that is pretty small as the team is doxed. Now let's look what James says about Freeway when he tackles the topic of it being a Ponzi, where a project would use earlier investors' money to pay the next investors. So this would mean the project would collapse without new money coming in.
This is not financial advice for you, but for myself, I don't think revenue is coming in from Ponzi. It's coming in from Forex quant trading.
Finally, James wraps up his Freeway interview with a positive note.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I think Freeway is one of my top projects right now. It's one of the ones I feel most comfortable.
Another his favorite crypto project he talks about is Yield Nodes. And he actually just met the team in Malta, where he got more conviction to increase his investment in the project. So how does Yield Nodes work? Yield Nodes lets you invest in creating and running masternodes for several proof-of-stake blockchains. Masternodes are formed by buying enough tokens from any of the offered projects, and by doing so, the nodes start validating transactions and getting rewards. Yield Nodes takes 15% of the rewards for themselves and give out 85%. Your initial is not lost, but it is locked for 6 months. The project has been running already for about 40 months, giving 5 to 12% per month. So can you trust the project? Are they doing what they say they are doing? Let's hear it straight from James Pelton.
So I believe that they are 100% doing what they think is best for the investor.
What about Yield Nodes being a Ponzi? Is it possible according to James?
And after looking through all their numbers, I do not think that it is a Ponzi.
He does have concerns too about Yield Nodes. One being they need to have use cases for the tokens they are having the master nodes in. The good sign is the project is working on solutions. But the biggest risk facing Yield Nodes is the unlikely scenario that Bitcoin dips to $6,000, as they have most of their liquidity in Bitcoin. So after visiting the Yield Node team in Malta, let's hear how James is moving forward.
And my conclusion is I'm going to be putting more into Yield Nodes. Again, this is not financial advice about what I think you should do.
To conclude, let's listen to James quote the CEO of Yield Nodes saying about the risks and what kind of advice he would give to interested investors.
Don't And Steve, he's so awesome about, hey, don't take your grandma's social security number and put it into yield notes. He says that.
Bear markets are about buying the blood and laying the foundations for the next bull run, as in general it is better to get into the markets early than late. But this also depends on your risk appetite and especially about your investment time horizon. We are already seeing the signs of possible market bottom, and after it's confirmed, many crypto projects have done several multiples.